Temperaments. In homeopathic teachings, there is frequent mention of temperaments. Temperaments. It is important to understand what is temperament, why it is important, and how is it to be used. Temperament, by definition, a person's character, especially as it affects the way he or she behaves or feels. Person's character as it affects feelings and behavior. Feelings and behavior in case of circumstances and situations. Again, homeopathically, temperament that we have to understand is a person's character, especially as it affects the way he or she behaves and feels. Behaves in circumstances, feels in the situations. Why? Why is it required to understand the temperament? It is important to understand the temperament for its application in 4 different scenarios that requires it. 1. Case taking. 2nd, case processing. 3rd, we usually go for prescriptions. 4th, how we understand the temperament through the application of medicine on a normal human being. Drug proving. As you can see, the temperament and its application of knowledge. What is temperament? Character of a person. The affects or a person's affections towards the reaction in the form of feelings and behavior. How a person feels, how he behaves in the circumstances and feels in the situations. We apply the knowledge of temperament in case taking, case processing, prescription and drug proving. But how to do that? For that, we have to understand what temperament is. Which types of temperaments are available? How to understand the temperament in its actual form? There are 4 basic classifications. 4 types. Basic. There are others that are defined afterwards, but there are 4 basic. 1. Nervous. 2nd, bilious. 3rd, sanguine. 4th, phlegmatic. As you can see, there are 4 basic classification of temperaments. Nervous temperaments, bilious temperaments, sanguine temperaments and phlegmatic temperament. Sometimes we find it's very difficult to classify in case of temperaments how a person is of nervous, bilious, sanguine or phlegmatic. Sometimes we may find combination of it. This combination of temperaments usually complicates the matter because they might show combination in several different symptoms. But still, understanding the temperament is important. What it shows, how it happens to do, let us see. Temperaments are by and large physiological. That means based on physical character or functions. Besides physical character, we call stature. Stature, how a person is built, or structural characteristics. Besides this, patient. The matters of temperament implies color, functions of circulation, respiration, etc. This physiological form that we understand as a temperament is usually known for this: physical characteristics, functions, structural character or stature. It is also form, color or classification of a person from races, function of a body by circulation, respiration, elimination or excretion. Still, even after this, other than physiological structure, temperament sometimes also shows persons' mental and emotional reaction towards environment. Now, mental and emotional, these are tendencies. Towards environment. Now, environment or circumstances, how a person behaves, or in which environment what a person feels. These are basic part of the temperament. Most important point is to know that the temperament is considered to prescribe homeopathic medicines. It has been for a long time been used to prescribe homeopathic medicines. And how? That is the important point to know. Let us go how. As we have seen, person's mental and emotional tendencies. Mental tendencies to react towards the circumstances, emotional tendencies to feel the environment or react towards the environment emotionally. Now, for prescriptions, this temperament has one erroneous form too, the error. Because the temperament and remedy usually forms a relation. Sometimes it is biased. It is said that this formation of a bias form in the case of treatment and selection of remedy, for that we have to understand how the temperament comes in existence. It is said the temperament comes into existence from the first cell formation or fertilization of zygote. Fertilization and formation of zygote. When a parent cell unites and becomes one, this once happened, there is no deviation from it. Remember this. To understand how, we have to understand how it comes into the existence. Once it forms, temperament as a character or constitution, once comes into existence, it forms a body. As I said previously, temperament is physiological. Means once a physical structure is formed or genetic structure is formed, there is no change afterwards. So it is permanent. Structural formation of a person is permanent, cannot be influenced or changed by action of our medicine. This structure of a human being, genetic formation, we can never change by homeopathy. We can't do anything about it. However, this is true still. Homeopathy has effect on babies and children. Now, if a homeopathically selected medicine indicated, how indicated? Homeopathically indicated medicine prescribed accurately on babies and children, they can modify the morbific tendencies. Now, tendencies formed by temperament means a person once born has a certain weakness, certain reactivity, but that reactivity we can change if we apply homeopathic elements. A person's similarity basis and indicated towards a baby or a child, we can change and prevent unfavorable circumstances to a considerable degree. Prevention is better than cure. Now, understand, temperament is formed when a first cell is formed, The structural part of it or the physiological understanding of a temperament once happened, it can never change. But every structure is a function. Even in this function of baby and a children, if they have a particular tendency towards a particular environment which are harmful to them, if we select a most indicated similar homeopathically indicated simillimum and properly apply to them, then the temperamental tendencies will change to prevent unfavorable circumstances where morbific, which another sense disease causing circumstances are disease causing circumstances or temperamental tendencies can be removed by well, as in this case, this is greatly preventive treatment because morbific or disease causing conditions in babies or children, if the tendencies are prevented or removed permanently, then the preventive process happens because the temperamental weakness removed. Temperamental weakness is removed. But to understand the temperamental weakness towards it, we have to understand how it can be hampered. Now, this is temperamental weakness. Once removed, it is greatly prevented because it is applied on children and babies, and they are usually pliable. Their physical structure, their tendencies are pliable, means they are changeable. They can be strengthened initial years strengthened or weakened as per the circumstances. Now, pliability to give strength or give weakness may cause your long suffering. This is also given in some cases, like the example or given in the footnote, the application of medicine, homeopathy, given in the footnote of aphorism 284, 6th edition. Medicine applied to pregnant and nursing ladies, where medicine will affect and create a change that will help next generation in creating immunity towards hereditary diseases. Now, in this case, we have seen as presently given circumstances and the condition provides there are about to be 200 children born out of born in present COVID-19 conditions, where the parents or mother has COVID-19 positive but child is corona negative. The affection happened in the womb. Later, immunity developed in the womb creates COVID negative status towards the particular disease or coronavirus, giving immunity to the child. Here, similia similibus curanter happening in nature, we can see. But in case of temperament, there are some problems. Problem is, homeopathic prescription may become biased. Why? Because we have certain criteria in our mind that particular diseases or particular situation will appear only in particular people. Example 1. Phlegmatic person is sluggish. So, when there is venous stagnation appearing in the body, we think it is phlegmatic. Or if there is a phlegmatic person, we tend to find venous stagnation. We can also call it DVT, deep vein thrombosis. We can also call it venous tortuosity, a type of venous stagnation where veins and their valves are not functioning properly, pushing the blood up, and that's why tortuous veins found on leg of usually the people who are standing for a long time. Likewise, we also try to find liver problems in bilious temperament patient. Now what happens? Whenever there is a bilious temperamental person, we try to find there is a liver problem or there might be a liver problem. But if there is a liver problem, there may not be a bilious temperament. So, likewise, our biasness usually gives an error that we have to prevent. And that is a problem. How it comes into existence? To come in, How it comes to the existence, we can know through deep examination. Now, how to deep examination is to be done? To understand the case with inherited characteristics, adapted tendencies, understanding of constitution by reactivity in the form of symptoms. So, totality is the only thing that can provide mental and physical understanding of a person which is complete. But if we just look to the surface only, what happens? Keynote or snapshot prescriptions are a usual mistake. Example: pulsatilla patient, we define as a person as a pulsatilla patient, but a patient has a pulsatilla like symptoms for a while that we are treating through pulsatilla. There is no pulsatilla patient. Noxomica patient, a person has Noxomica like symptoms that we tend to treat by Noxomica, but there is no Noxomica patient because there is no permanence. Please understand that. Many mistakes have been made in prescribing on this so-called type method. We are not going to give a type. We have to understand inherited characteristic, adaptive tendencies, constitution through the reaction which we call symptoms. In totality, it provides mental and physical characteristics. That is our understanding of temperament. We must not go just through surface analysis. We have to stop providing ideas about typing a patient. Example, how the typing happens. Blonde, phlegmatic, pulsatilla. It's a type. Means that a person who is blonde and phlegmatic must be given pulsatilla. But the question is, cannot be given Noxomica? मतलब जो blonde છે phlegmatic છે તેને pulsatilla આપવાની પણ શું એને Noxomica ના આપી શકાય કે પછી every condition requires pulsatilla only? That is wrong, and that is biasness. It is seen that best proving of pulsatilla, best provers of Noxomica are rigid, strong, wiry, nervous, temperamental, person with dark complexion. Does that mean that we have to give Naxomika always? No. Does that mean that physical character of a certain reaction are only providing of this for always? No. Whence symptoms only Naxomika? No. Whichever symptom comes, always give Naxomika? No. If the symptoms given, there is a requirement of bryonia. Bryonia not to be given. Is it so? No. This error or a bias part we have to avoid. So how temperament is helpful? Temperament is helpful to understand a person's genetic or inherited characteristics that helps in selection of medicine, to understand when an individual becomes patient. The reaction of both one inner, second, outer environment of an individual. When an individual becomes patient, the reaction of inner and outer environment of an individual shows susceptibility. That susceptibility is entirely different way than his individual state of equilibrium. Now this susceptibility, you have to understand what is susceptibility. Susceptibility of particular reactivity. Every individual has his or her own susceptibility. No two individuals are same. So in this case, this susceptibility of an individual that makes a person react in a certain way to the inner and outer conditions or circumstances. Provides particular symptomatology. Now, here this susceptibility provides change in equilibrium. Now, what is equilibrium? Equilibrium is a person's state of being. Again, an individual becomes patient, reacting towards inner and outer circumstances provides susceptibility, which is particular reactivity towards the inner and outer circumstances. Now that happens only when the susceptibility is providing the indication of change in equilibrium. If there is no change, then no reaction. No change in equilibrium, then no reaction. If there is change in equilibrium, then reaction, which provides susceptibility. That means equilibrium is equal to 1 upon susceptibility. is completely inversely proportional to susceptibility. Susceptibility is low, means equilibrium is there. Equilibrium is deviated, that means susceptibility is high. Whenever equilibrium has deviation, a person's susceptibility increases and symptoms appear, and that is a usual form of disease formation in nature that we can understand through inner and outer circumstances or temperament. In disturbed equilibrium, sickness may develop. Heightened susceptibility may be reacting to certain remedy to which he was not reacting before. Now, here, reaction in two ways: nature, disease, medicine, treatment, or proving. In case of reaction, if there is equilibrium, then natural reactive will be absent. If there is equilibrium, we may prove, but there is no requirement of treatment. If there is equilibrium that is debilitated or deviated, then there is a requirement of treatment. The understanding would be based on symptomatology which are formed by susceptibility or person's reactivity towards natural circumstances that requires treatment, to which he previously may be proving or may not be proving, but heightened susceptibility forms reaction to medicine in case of similimum. Whenever there is appearance of symptom similarity or natural symptoms which requires particular medicine which has the same symptoms based on similarity, there is equilibrium that is debilitated or deviated, giving higher susceptibility, requiring or providing the disease in its actual form that requires treatment. Understand? Reaction towards nature or medicine that is also based on susceptibility. Finally, everything comes to a circle. Now, just as I have said, in proving, we must understand temperament in proving too. Every medicine has particular temperament in direct relation. Example, belladonna is directly affecting phlegmic and phlegmatic. Temperamental persons. Baraita directly affecting dwarfed. Backward individual which has stunted growth. Phosphorus usually affecting nervous and bilious temperamental people. Naksomika usually affects nervous temperamental people. Now, if we see the symptom similarity and proving, in this case, provides direct relation of a medicine to a temperamental state. Means a person that is born with these characteristics. Baraita, dwarf, stunted and backward individual, phlegmatic and phlegmatic in case of belladonna, nervous and bilious in case of phosphorus, and nervous temperament in case of naxomika. But that doesn't mean that other are non-reactive to it. Medicine has universal effect. These people are based prover, but others also react, and their reaction are double indication. Now this double indication means in some cases we find clinical symptoms. What are these? What is double indication of a medicine? Let us see. As the equilibrium deviates from the normal, it becomes more and more susceptible. So, remedy indicated by the condition equilibrium, deviated equilibrium, is the one that will most quickly restored to previously equilibrium state regardless of temperament. So, all remedy work on all temperament. Based, poor, least important, poor, both poor. These are giving most symptoms, least symptoms. So when a person is based prover, that means providing a detail like belladonna has phlegmatic and phlegmatic condition. When a belladonna is given to a person who is phlegmatic and phlegmatic, it's a based prover. Now in this case, the based prover of belladonna gives medicine and relation to the medicine symptoms in the most form. So most symptoms. In this case, where the least identical, when a person is non-phlegmatic and non-phlegmatic, they give least symptom, still there are symptom present, but may be included in both. Whatever the medicine is, all remedies work on all temperaments. Medicines are unconditional, as given in Organon of Medicine. Medicines work more strongly than the nature does. Now you understand how indicated medicine works. Just like this, sepia. If sepia is a woman's remedy, why men gives symptoms of sepia. Why? If it's particularly predominantly women's remedy, then why men's have? It is because sepia works irrespective of gender. Noxomica works irrespective of sexuality. Pulsatilla works irrespective of gender. Boraita works irrespective of age group. When there is a symptom, we have to give medicine. That is the only thing important for us. We cannot rely on temperament for treatment, because if we give medicine based only on temperament, it becomes snapshot key note prescriptions which are key towards treatment but may not be similar. To understand this, keynote helps towards medicine, but to define it as a remedy, we have to take whole symptomatology into consideration. Otherwise, it is nothing more than error. So never give medicine based on keynote unless supported by the whole symptomatology. For us, temperament in relation to prescription is only through indication in medicine and similarity of symptoms, because that is the only thing that gives totality its importance. So temperament is used for prescription only if indicated by medicine, provided by similarity of symptoms and confirmed by totality, then only it helps in prescription. Otherwise, keynote and snapshot prescription based on temperament are error. So this is the end, and read the chapter 20 of H. Roberts, that is temperament.